This is Marshall Maxwell, and this is my presentation on the effects of denotative congruency on audiovisual impressions by Yuko Masakura and Makoto Ichikawa. My interest in this particular piece of research centers around the methods used. They seem very practical for my group and I to execute. A lot of the psychological concepts within this research will be very useful to my research as well. In addition, a lot of the research that's cited within this piece seems like it could be very helpful and could lead to more good research in the subject. I'm especially interested in the format of this research and how it's written. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to read, and when something needs to be elaborated on, it's discussed further in detail, and examples are given. Makusara and Ichikawa are interested in studying how the congruency between simultaneous audio and visual stimuli will affect people's perceptions of those stimuli. More generally, though, they want to study what the connection is between audio and visual stimuli. Furthermore, this study is an elaboration on a previous study by the same authors. I want to talk now about the research that Ichikawa and Masakura cited in the introduction of their research. They cited a lot of research that shows that there's a strong connection between visual and audio perception and cognition. They wanted to cite things that show that audio can affect vision and vision can affect audio. They also talk about kinsai, which is the research into how impressions are formed and how people form relationships with ideas and things around them. A concept they're particularly interested in is consonance phenomenon, which is pretty much what they're exploring in this piece, which is the additive effect between visual and audio stimuli. They cite methodology from an earlier study done by Iwamaya in 1992 that kind of sets a precedent for mixing different audio and visual stimuli. As I said before, this study is based largely on a previous study conducted by Ichikawa and Masakura. Used a lot of similar stimuli. The main difference, though, is the amount of audio stimuli per visual stimuli used. In their previous study, they only used 2 audio stimuli per 1 visual stimuli, and a lot of the other studies that they cited had only used 1 audio stimuli per visual stimuli. So in order to make the research more definitive, they want to use both 1 stimuli, audio stimuli per visual stimuli, and 2 audio stimuli per visual stimuli to make sure that the findings from the previous study were not isolated to 2 stimuli per 2 audio stimuli per visual stimuli. The general method of this study uses 2 experiments to expose subjects to different combinations of audio and visual stimuli. The first experiment only uses 1 audio stimulus per video stimulus. Experiment 2 uses both 1 and 2 audio stimuli per visual stimulus. 3 different types of audio stimuli were used in this experiment: relaxing music, road traffic noise, and white noise. Relaxing music is used to simulate a pleasant sound, road traffic noise unpleasant, and white noise kind of neutral or unpleasant. 3 types of video or motion picture was used in the study. A relaxing scene, in this case videos of nature, road traffic, which is recorded separately of the road traffic noises used in the audio stimuli, and a dynamic noise pattern, which is a randomly flashing dot on a screen. 3 different pretests were used to determine which stimuli should be included in the experiment. A 7-point scale was used from -3 to +3 to rate the audio and visual stimuli. The first pretest, 6 of the most relaxing pieces of music were picked out of a possible 29. Pretest 2, the 4 top relaxing videos were chosen, and pretest 3 determined the most relaxing combinations of the 2. Experiment 1 consisted of 10 subjects viewing 10 combinations of audio and video in random order for 30 seconds. The different combinations of video and audio can be viewed to the right. Pretty much just all of the different combinations available of the video and music are used. Then it's rated on the same 7-point scale used in the pretests. The study then cited data analysis techniques to confirm that the data collected was statistically significant and statistically valid for use in this experiment. The results of the study showed that there was a significant interaction between pleasant video and pleasant audio. That is to say that the combination of pleasant audio and video was rated more pleasant than audio or video alone. However, with the road traffic noise video and audio, the same compounding effect was not observed, as had been observed in the 2003 study. Instead, researchers observed an averaging effect, which they described as an audio canceling out unpleasant audio and vice versa. Experiment 2 is very similar to Experiment 1, the only difference being that instead of a white noise stimuli, these researchers used a combination of both relaxing music and traffic noise over the various motion picture video stimuli. This experiment was able to replicate the researchers' previous findings that more congruent video and audio was always rated most pleasantly, whereas the first experiment, isolated sound or video that was considered to be unpleasant on its own would be rated about the same as in combination with each other. The audio-visual combinations that had 2 audio stimuli were rated most unpleasantly. In particular, the 2 audio stimuli with no video were the most unpleasant, whereas the 2 audio stimuli with the unpleasant video of traffic was rated more pleasantly than the 2 audio stimuli with the pleasant video that was of nature. In the conclusion of this journal article, the researchers reconcile the difference between experiment 1 and 2 by citing a arousal potential model, which says that the more complex a stimulus is, the less pleasant a subject will consider it to be. From this, the researchers concluded that the congruency between simultaneous audio and visual stimuli decreases the perceived complexity to the viewer of that stimulus. 2 of the limitations that I saw in this research were the small sample size of 10 subjects per experiment seemed too small to be representative of a population. The researchers themselves said that the link between the complexity of a message and its pleasantness is not entirely conclusive and begs more research in the future.